We're going to launch back. We've been talking about the Planned Parenthood annual report, which is basically Planned Parenthood giving an update on its prior year's activities and the kind of damning info that is in this year's report. Basically, services other than abortion are down, abortions are up, profits are up, government funding is up, sort of demonstrating why they don't really deserve our federal taxpayer dollars. We are continuing with an interview we did of Arina Grossu from Family Research Council. She's an expert on this. She wrote an article on it. So here's part 2 of our interview with Arina Grossu. Again, we're talking with Arina Grossu from Family Research Council, a friend of Right to Life of Central California. Arina, we've been talking about this Planned Parenthood annual report, and you were saying before our last break, you were talking about how essentially the big picture of it is that their abortions are up, their non-abortion services are down, their profits are up. So everyone's doing well except for babies and women who want some service other than abortion. What do you think this says about Planned Parenthood's sort of worthiness to continue receiving government funding? And how do you think it undercuts Planned Parenthood's claims that they continue to deserve it?
We don't need Planned Parenthood. What they sell is abortion, and they make a profit off of abortion, and they're getting federal funding. There's absolutely no reason that taxpayers should be funding the number one abortion business in the U.S. We have comprehensive women's health clinics, federally qualified, that are, I think there are about 13,000 or so in the U.S. that outnumber Planned Parenthood facilities 20 to 1, and this number keeps it's increasing because the facilities are closing. Planned Parenthood facilities are closing everywhere.
In fact, even in Fresno,
you know, the ones in California.
Yeah, well, even in Fresno,
3 of them.
Yeah, even in Fresno, Arina, I was going to say, I mean, we have one Planned Parenthood clinic, and we have 17 federally qualified health centers just in our county of Fresno County. So even here locally, I mean, it's the same picture. It's even a less disproportionate picture than it is across the country.
Right, and those community health centers and federally qualified health clinics really offer comprehensive care. They do well-woman visits, they do vaccinations, things that Planned Parenthood doesn't do.
Right.
They do all the prenatal stuff, even they have children's services, services for men, and so what we're seeing is Planned Parenthood's not doing these things that they're claiming to do, and yet still receiving more money than they ever have. And so we don't need Planned Parenthood.
Right, and that's the big lie.
To be cut off.
That's the big lie that I hear from so many people, even like, not like, you know, young skulls full of mush or, you know, indoctrinated teenagers, but like from adults who are like, well, when I was in college, the only thing there for me was Planned Parenthood. And so, well, maybe that was true in the 80s. I don't know, but it probably wasn't true in the 80s, but there are just so many more options. It's just Planned Parenthood just has such better PR.
Planned Parenthood is a really good marketer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Planned Parenthood is a very good marketer. Planned Parenthood gets in the schools early on and does their comprehensive sex education, gets young kids in middle school and high school hooked on them so that when they find themselves in an unplanned pregnancy, they turn to Planned Parenthood. And that's why we see these types of numbers, because that's their business. It's an abortion business, and that's what they are. All this other stuff is what they do on the side, and the numbers are decreasing. And all of those other things someone can get at a community health center or federally qualified health clinic.
Well, and Arina, the whole idea of this, like you said, the marketing and the way that they get in so early really shows why the myth of Planned Parenthood not using federal dollars to pay for abortions is ridiculous, because money is so fungible. My brother used to work in the car business. He used to sell cars, and it makes me think of the vast amount of money you see Super Bowl commercials about, you know, Buicks and Fords and Toyotas and everything. Well, if they are spending tens of millions of dollars on marketing Planned Parenthood, it would be like saying, well, look, we're not spending money on actually selling you the car. We're just doing all the marketing. You're only spending 5 minutes with the finance guy at the end of the transaction, but that's all that you need. All the work, all the pre-qualification, all the meetings, All the marketing to get you to trust
Exactly.
the organization has already been done up front.
Yeah.
And that's why they can
Right.
get away with the abortionist basically just being an assembly line going. I mean, we hear story after story of people who come out of the abortion industry where the abortionist spends maybe 5 minutes in some cases with most women. He spends virtually no time with them, and he's able to do that because all of the hard work of gaining their trust, convincing them that Planned Parenthood has their best interest in mind, that's done with federal dollars.
That's right. And we also know that Planned Parenthood was audited back in 2009 by ADF. They found $95 million in waste, abuse, and potential fraud. We know that they overbill their patients. We know that
They overbill Medicare.
even in California,
Medicaid,
right?
rather.
So if they send birth control pills by mail and get them back, they still get reimbursed by Medicaid, and so they're making a profit in many ways. Just by all of these different practices, by having abortion quotas. The Select Investigative Panel found many things on Planned Parenthood and everyone involved in the baby body part selling industry that they have 15 criminal referrals altogether, and those need to be investigated. So why are we giving money to an organization that should be criminally investigated for all of these different situations? And obviously is making a profit from selling their abortions and receiving government funding.
Well, Arina, we really appreciate you coming on to Right to Life Radio and talking with us about this, and we really appreciate all the work you do. Again, we've been talking with Arina Grossu, the director for the Center of Human Dignity at Family Research Council. Arina, could you give maybe a little plug to Family Research Council, what you guys do, and where they could find more info about what you guys do?
Sure. FRC is an evangelical organization based in Washington, D.C., and we represent conservative values here in D.C. and nationally, especially on life, religious liberty, marriage. And so if you'd like to find out more about FRC, just visit us at www.frc.org.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Arina. We appreciate all the work you do, and it was good to have a fellow domer on my radio show. So
Go Irish.
Go
Thanks
Irish.
so much.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
It is good to have someone from Notre Dame on the show. So, again, that was Arina Grossu from Family Research Council. We are going to head into a break here on Right to Life Radio.